Hi, I'm Dr. Michelle Lee. I'm one of the resident physicians at Cornell, and I'm here with Dr. Calvin Sun and a medical student from New York City, Mount Sinai, Natty. We're here basically in support of the Asian American Pacific Islander community, and we're basically forming the first ever national white coat frontline in protection of Chinatown and the associated Asian communities. So this is Natty. She's going to share her story of what happened to her and the rising anti-Asian sentiment in New York City.
Unfortunately, on my way to the hospital in broad daylight, I was assaulted after being called Chinese virus. And my advisors recommend I take time off to recuperate because my knees were hurting a lot and my nails were bleeding. And I was going to go on surgical rotation, but I hesitated because, like many Asian American communities, we're afraid to speak out. But now it's time for us to wake up and just share our pain.
So some of the reasons why the doctors wanted to organize and meet up here today is because many of the Asian community, sometimes they're immigrants, they don't speak English. We're fully vaccinated and we're able to safely rally on behalf of our community. And we have come through so many strides because of our immigrant parents in our community, and we have broken through so many bamboo ceilings to get here. And we really just want to speak out on behalf of our community. And Calvin can talk about some actionable things we can do together as well.
Dismayed and saddened, and also honored, but that we're all here. I was here 9 years ago speaking about the same exact thing, and I was just wondering, being back here, what has changed? What actionable things have we done since then? I mean, progress, the arc of history has always trended towards that, but sometimes it feels like we've forgotten a lot. I think when things happen, we forget what had happened before, and we repeat the same cycles over and over, and we start targeting each other. Why weren't you there for us? Why weren't you there for us? And the whole idea is that's what they want. They being the terrorists, the status quo, maintaining their power, so that they keep us divided instead of working together. Because there was a time in the 1960s we did work together. We achieved progress together. Black, brown, Asian, all the other minority groups have been oppressed. And then over time, we've been brainwashed into forgetting all of this. We've forgotten institutional memory. We don't teach this in classrooms, and yet we're fighting against each other. And what's going to happen from that? We're just repeating the cycles where I'm back here in 9 years speaking about the same thing. I don't want that anymore. So I think the first step for you, other than taking care of yourself, right? We can't pour from an empty cup. And I'm done educating other people, by the way. Right? They need to do their own due diligence. But also taking care of all the avenues and privileged spaces that you have access to, and transforming them into being more accessible to all the other groups that never had access to them. You have that privilege. I, as a man, cisgender, heterosexual, I have access to a lot of spaces that other groups do not, and I can subvert, decolonize, and infiltrate them the same way they have done to us. And I want you to do the same thing for those of you who are watching, because you have that access. It will be much easier for you than it would be someone Asian American like me. But in the same vein that I have access to as a man, you may not as a woman, or trans, or religious. And I can transform my spaces for you. And over time, those will collectively add up. And those are the things that you can do tomorrow.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.